everybody, and welcome to the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. The Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by The Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Today on Everything Voiceover, we're going to go into the 3 things I wish I knew before I got started in voiceover, or at least during the first year and a half that I got started in voiceover, because when you're first starting out, there's a lot of things you try differently, and there's no real set way to figure out how to do voiceover, so you end up having a trial and error process, and everyone's got different strategies, so it's always good to know, and I usually ask this to the few people that I do interview. It's like, what's things that you should have known before you got into this? And things that would save you time or money or just a lot of hassle that maybe you're going through right now. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I've been going through right now when it comes to that hassle. So here, without further ado, is the 3 things I wish I knew before I got into voiceover. Now, number 1 here is I wish I kept a vigorous spreadsheet of every company name, all the contact info, and the date of the job. Now, these are for clients that I have worked with, and I have heard about people who actually have kept such spreadsheets that were about auditions that were liked or auditions that were starred, and that's probably a good idea as well, but definitely, at the very least, keep a vigorous spreadsheet of the company name, contact info, and date of job. Will be your source for future clients to become repeat clients. And this will be, repeat clients will end up, as time goes on, being a huge chunk of your income. The ideal future for every voiceover artist is that they don't have to audition, that they've set up such a client base that they just constantly get more and more jobs. And for the most part, my particular situation, I do get a consistent flow of repeat jobs. But if I had kept that company name and contact info in an Excel spreadsheet and date of job, I probably would have much more. Now, I didn't keep the necessary info, and I had to go back through years of emails, and unfortunately, a couple of years ago, I made a big old destruction of all my emails. Like, I'm going to clear my email, just whatever happened 4 years ago, I'm just not going to look at it, which is a huge and stupid thing to do. But we all do stupid things, especially when this was a couple of years ago. So, but, that's what I did. So if I would have had a spreadsheet with all that stuff on it and company name and info and the contact or the date of job, even the name of the job, I could foreseeably destroy all the emails and have no problem with it. Now, what I've found that I am doing now is going back into all the emails, checking the jobs, trying to get the contact information back, and to retroactively get my spreadsheet together. Now, you want to be able to contact later to check in to see if, for multiple reasons. One, see if they have a finished product that you can show off on your social media. And it's always good to phrase it that you can give the client some more marketing or something like that, because it's true. It's like you want the finished project so that you can show it off and show that you're doing great voiceover, so that another client can come along and look at it and say, I want that voice. And it's marketing for you, and it's also marketing for the product itself. Let's be honest. More people will see it because you're showing it off. So make sure to phrase it like you're doing something for them, because you are. And sometimes when we are marketing, we feel like, it's a little embarrassed. We're trying to sell ourselves, and we're not salesmen. We're just creative artists trying to act for money. But we are marketers, and make sure to know that you also have a fan base or a Facebook friends, and you have Twitter and all those things, and you have the ability to market. Just you yourself. You don't have to go out and find more people to market to. You as your own self have an ability to help other companies. Now, number 2, you also want to stay top of mind for upcoming projects with these clients. You want to be on the top of their mind so that they can contact you anytime. So some people have said maybe every 2 or 3 months you get in contact with them. Well, if you don't have a spreadsheet with the company name and contact info and date of job, then you can't do that. The other thing you would need to do it is because you can add the client to your social media, and that means LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and everyone's got a social media account now, and if you link into them, it's really it's also staying top of mind as well. You can add the project itself to social media, add it to your voiceover resume. You can show off, as time goes on, since these are relatively small jobs, they will add up, and you'll want to know where they are, what they look like, and you'll want to have if I could go back in time and just make a big old poster with every single job I did to remind myself how hard I've worked, I would have done it, and I'd be in a bit of a different predicament than I am right now. I'd probably be like, wow, I've done a lot of jobs. It is important to be able to show off the work that you've done. It's better late than never, but I honestly can say that I would have had more repeat clients now if I had done better spreadsheet work in the past. Now, the number 2 thing I wish I'd known before I got into voiceover is that you need to have a cloud backup or some other type of backup for your projects. Now, I know this is stupid and weird. Now, personally, I've got a ton of little hard drives that are 1 terabyte here and 5 terabyte there, and what I end up realizing was that it was just too annoying to move stuff over and over from one place to another. The act of backing up means just sticking your hard drive, hooking it into your computer, and then moving it all in there, and then you have to do it at the end of the night, and you just hope it works. And and I don't know about you, but I've had no luck with backups, period. I checked out the Booth Junkie on YouTube, and make sure to check him out. I'm a huge fan of his, and he's got some great information on YouTube. Check out Booth Junkie on YouTube. He has a strategy where he is basically using Dropbox as a source for backing up all the files, and I figured that out, and I use it religiously. Now, here's a couple examples. Quite a few times in my life, I had to stay mobile. Maybe I work from a laptop in a different city, or I had moved around and it was a different place, so I was working from just the bare bones of a laptop and a microphone. And the problem was I had to save everything to that laptop, and transferring files from a laptop to a computer is a bit tedious and nauseating, and sometimes when you've already done all 4 of those jobs on the laptop, they're done. Why would I want to push it to another thing? Well, unfortunately, what ends up happening there is that the system is entirely flawed if you're working with 3 or 4 different computers, especially laptops, and you will lose your system when even if it's as simple as numbering each job, and people forget we are all human. So what this Dropbox thing does, what Boot Junkie's done, you know how Dropbox, you set up a folder in your own computer, PC or Mac, and then that's where all the Dropbox files are. So what he has done is that he's configured Reaper to automatically save all files to the Dropbox folder. So as you are recording and as you are editing, every file is on your computer, absolutely, but it is also uploading to the cloud. Now, Dropbox has a really good deal right now, I think, for 1 terabyte of space, and if you get another person, it's an extra terabyte of space. So far, I've got hundreds of jobs, and I still haven't hit a terabyte of space, but I would recommend not putting anything other than audio files in there, because if you start using video files, or if you start making a reel or something like that, then that will take up a lot of space, and you don't want to do that. You want to use it just for your audio files. And here's the great thing about this. I had recently gotten a situation where I was gone for a couple hours on a little mini day trip, and a client was like, "Hey, where's the file? They're not there. Where's the link to the file?" And I realized that when I sent my email with the Dropbox link, it was not there. So originally, if this was, if I didn't have Dropbox, I'd be like, "Oh, you got to wait another day for me to get you those files." But because Dropbox has an app, and I can use it on my iPhone, I can access the link to those files, just copy and paste, and give it to them directly through my iPhone. I don't have to download anything. I'm just sending a link to the Dropbox file to the guy, and it's amazing. And you will need it so much if you start doing real legitimate large amounts of voiceover work. And the good thing about this is that if I do have to go to a laptop, I can just go online and either download all the Dropbox stuff to it, or just add on to it from my laptop. It's really very easy, and all this stuff is in the cloud. So if my thing goes down and it's solely gone forever, guess what? Just download it from the cloud on another computer. So good, So easy. Definitely do it. I cannot recommend more if you are trying to take on voiceover as a career, especially if you're doing pay-to-play sites. Do use Dropbox. All right, now here's a good time to say that the Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Now here's the final thing that I wish I knew when I'd started. And this really goes back to the whole Demystifying Demos podcast, but I'm going to go into it a little bit deeper here. The final thing I wish I knew was that jobs rarely come or are being cast through demos. Now I'm going to say this one more time. Jobs are rarely, if ever, cast through demos. This is a fact. This is a hardcore fact, and I can look at every single voiceover person in the eye and tell them if they're like, "Oh, the demo has to be amazing." No, that's total bull. Total bull. If anything, a really good demo may hurt you depending on what you are exactly doing, depending on if you're a non-union pay-to-play site runner or if you are a union runner. Those are two different things, and you need to realize who is asking it and who they are talking to. Now, I've been in the industry quite a while. The biggest of the biggest jobs do not cast through demos. They may find your demo and then ask you to audition, but the demo is not the most important part of a VO's calling card. What is more important, it is infinitely more important to know how to do an amazing audition, to know how to get into the audition room, whether it be like, let's say if you're going for union jobs, to know how to get into the audition booth, audition right away, take direction, act well. But the demo is not the most important VO person's calling card. They have to be able to audition. And the worst thing that could happen is if your demo is so good that when you come in and audition, or if you send an audition and suddenly you're not that good. The demo should definitely represent who you are, what you can do, and the best of your abilities. Now, as I said earlier in the Demystifying Demos podcast, demos are your way to get your foot into the door of casting directors and agents. Anyone else giving you a demo is not worth your time. You want to be able to be working with those casting directors, having them get to know you, having them love you, having them know you, you're being coached by them, you're paying them, you're trusting them, you're really growing because of them, and then suddenly they'll be like, yes, hire Justin. I'm gonna send Justin an audition maybe once or twice a month or something like that, or I'm gonna Justin, come on down. We've got this last minute audition to do. You want to be able to get your foot into the door of casting directors and agents, and the way you do that is through utilizing your ability to make demos. And if you come in with like a really well-made demo, you could do that too, but you have to do the entire process all over again. If your demo is great and it's amazing, and if you just show it to an agent and they're like, yes, I want you, that does happen. Okay, that's a very big possibility. But if you're like someone else, and I know this is true, that networking is 95% of the voiceover industry when it comes to union jobs, that people hire people they know, they hire people that they're friends with, they hire people that they've met. So if you're a new person, they're taking a risk by hiring someone they do not know. So why not utilize this huge payment for a demo, a professionally produced demo, to get yourself to know those people, the gatekeepers to the greatest jobs. You should work closely with them, and they're going to be the ones who recommend you for the auditions. And if they do not, then don't pay them to make your demo. I mean, sure, you can get coached by people, and depending on how much they cost, I almost wonder if people should be only coached by casting directors or people who have the ability to get you jobs. I think this is a personal thing of mine when it comes to all voiceover things. If you are going to pay for it, there should be some kind of incentive that will get you more money in the future, whether it be a skill, whether it be a networking opportunity, whether it be a one-on-one. But if there's none of that, then I wouldn't pay that person to coach me. I'm just being honest, and this is a personal opinion, and there are great coaches and there are great teachers out there, but you want to be able to make the most of your money when it comes to recording a demo. Now, here's a big thing. If you are using a studio and you're doing pay-to-play sites, or you're networking yourself and you're marketing yourself, and you used like $1 million studio to record your demo, don't put it up there. Or if you do put it up there, make sure that you tell them this was in a recorded studio. If you want this kind of quality, I need to book a studio to get that type of quality. You need to make them aware of that, especially if your studio does not match the quality of that $1 million studio you were in. Be very wary of that. You need to communicate that to your client before they hire you. If one place sounds like Phantom Audio in Midtown Manhattan and your place sounds like a room next to a refrigerator, then the client will pull out of the job and you will have to rethink it, or they may not ever hire you again. This is someone who has hired you. They love your voice. You need to communicate what they have to do. I mean, there's no shade in saying, hey, this you're hiring me because of this commercial demo. I want you to tell you firsthand, you'll have to get it was recorded in Manhattan at a professional studio. You'll have to pay for that, and a sound engineer will be paid for, and I will happily do the job for you if we can all get on board with that. Because that's what you are selling. Now, I know that the people are, now, how do you make a demo? Well, it's pretty simple. If you're paid at playing a lot and you're not in the New York City area or LA and maybe San Francisco or Georgia area, then you take on the pay-to-play sites, you audition, you get a few jobs, and you use those jobs to make your demo, because those are a perfect representation of your demo. Then, as you upgrade your mic and get better, upgrade your demo. Heck, make a video reel of all your stuff. I've got a video reel up at JDT Voiceover and on my website as well, on my emails now as well, and I'm super proud of it because it shows all the stuff that I've been doing voiceover-wise, and that is so much more interesting than like a made-up demo where it's like you haven't done those, or if it's even worse, if it's like a written commercial that nobody knows of this product. I've heard of people using demos that are not even existing scripts or existing commercials. Anyway, that's my own little thing there. Or if you're in New York City, train with a casting director or agent, get coached by them, and make sure that they know that you want to record a demo. Ask them to be honest. That's really huge if you are ready or not ready to make a demo. Don't rush. And also, if they rush you, make sure you know what's going on. Don't work with someone who doesn't believe in you. Ask friends, record the sessions of coaching and see if they're like, oh yeah, that's great. You're getting much better. You sound like you're ready for a demo. Get much information as you can. Demos are pricey. Don't waste your money. Don't rush. But also don't take forever. You don't want to be coached for 3 years on a demo. I think maybe 3 to 6 months, or if you've already done a lot of classes, maybe 2 months of coaching. You also want to be able to have a rapport with that casting director or agent so that they will use you over and over again. Or, like I know when I was training for with my casting director, who's Dorianne Elliott of Phantom Audio, she had me come in for auditions as well as I was making the demo, which is great. So I get a little bit of play time in the booth and try and get some good jobs. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the 3 major things that I wish I knew before I got into voiceover. If I would have done that, I would have saved myself a little bit extra money, but really just a lot of time and effort, and lost files and lost jobs when, I could be still working with people that I've been working with for 4 or 5 years ago, but they're unfortunately lost and I'm no longer top of mind with them. So those 3 things are: keep a vigorous spreadsheet with a company name, contact info, date of job, as much information you can put on a spreadsheet of each individual job. That's great. The other thing is, make sure you have a cloud backup of all your projects, and be sure to look at Booth Junkie. They have a on YouTube. If you look at Booth Junkie on YouTube, he has a great little function to get your Dropbox set up so that every time Reaper or whatever editing system you have saves a file, it goes directly to the Dropbox. So even as you are recording, it is uploading. which is great. So then you never have to worry about it. And even if something goes wrong and and you are unable to get to your PC or your Mac at home, you will have access to at least the links to the Dropbox files through your iPhone or even through your Android. Android would work as well. And the last one is, I wish people would have told me that jobs rarely, if ever, get cast through demos. The demos really only spark the interest to get you to audition. And then when you do get a chance to audition, you need to be good at auditioning. And it should be a good representation of how good you are at auditioning. So, Thank you guys so much for listening in. This was a pretty speedy one. This has been the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. The Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Happy holidays, everyone. And be sure to visit our website at everythingvoiceover.com. Follow us at Twitter at everythingv, or check out our website. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and take care.